These are the 15 best MetaQuest 3 apps that you need to try. And that means that these applications aren't games, but they will instead enhance your overall experience by letting you do things such as watching the latest TV show, to even letting you upgrade the resolution of your headset itself, and much more. So let's dive right into it. And starting it off with number 1, we have Virtual Desktop. Now this application makes it possible for you to put your computer screen directly into VR, meaning you can use it to watch some movies on a massive screen in front of you, or even completely switch it to your new working station. Although, another main reason that so many users love Virtual Desktop is because this app also makes it possible for you to access the entire Steam VR library, and that, while with much less problems and glitches than the built-in Airlink does. So no matter if you want to use Virtual Desktop for productivity, watching content, or just simply for its PC VR features, this one will have you covered either way. And on number 2 is Hyperscape, which is actually an application that you most likely already have installed on your headset, since this one is made by Meta himself. But the unique thing is that in here you can visit some of the most realistic locations that can go from Gordon Ramsay's home kitchen to an actual UFC ring. And while these built-in environments look super convincing, checking these out is by far not its main feature, since Meta has also unlocked the possibility to now scan your own environments and even invite other people to them. But moving on, we got number 3, and that is 4xVR Video Player. And yes, as the name already implies, this app will let you play your local files and videos on your headset natively. However, while the base version is free, keep in mind that this one only has a trial version of 30 days, after which you will have to pay a full version to keep using it. So in that case, there are also some other options out there, like DOVR for example, that while less polished, are luckily completely free. Either way, no matter which one you choose, don't forget that you can always get between 10 and 20% discount on literally all MetaQuest store apps and games with code VRelity. And I will also leave a link to all the apps in this video down in the description below. But moving on to number 4, we have SideQuest. Now this is by far one of the must-have applications for any Quest 3 owner on day 1. Because not only does this give you access to a huge library of VR experiences that just aren't available on the official Meta store page, it also has a bunch of other things that you can change up in here that can have a big impact on your overall experience. Think about giving you the ability of getting different home environments, or even just being able to import and export your files from your PC to your headset and vice versa. But maybe most importantly, is that it can let you install APKs on here too, which also gets us to number 5, and that is Discord. Because while Meta is releasing a fully dedicated Discord application, depending on when you are watching this, it might not be there yet. However, by using the previously mentioned SideQuest, you can install the Android version of Discord on your headset by simply downloading and transferring the APK to its dedicated folder. And in that way, you can have Discord and any other Android application running directly on your Quest headset with no problems at all. And on number 6, we have Photon. Now this is probably one of the biggest hidden gems on the Quest store, since in itself, it is basically a huge collection of high quality 3D videos that you just can keep scrolling through forever. And that makes it kind of feel like a VR version of something like YouTube Shorts. But the extra here is that next to their cool spatial lighting effects that really add to your immersion, you can also use their converter to change your own 2D videos into 3D in just a couple of seconds. And surprisingly though, while this type of software normally costs quite a lot, this application is actually completely free. So if you always wanted to see some of your own videos in a much more immersive way, then this is the perfect way to do that without spending a single cent. And besides that, it is also just a nice change of pace to scroll through some of these high quality 3D videos. And on number 7, we have Fly. Now this is a Google Earth flight simulator that lets you move across the entire world map at your own speed. However, next to just checking out some random places, it also has things like a multiplayer mode and bookmark options, so that you can revisit and explore with your friends together. But on number 8, we have none other than YouTube VR. And also, let me know down below if you are watching from there right now. But either way, YouTube has their own dedicated virtual reality version that adds a lot of nice improvements over just using your built-in Meta browser. Think about things such as a dedicated spatial tab that lets you watch 360 videos and much more, to some bigger customization options and just an overall smoother experience. But that gets us to number 9, which is Pencil Learn to Draw. And this is one of the coolest newer concepts on the Quest headsets because it actually makes use of the built-in mixed reality features. So in that way, this app will be able to learn you how to draw properly in real life, even if you don't have any artistic talents at all, like myself for example. But besides the built-in lessons and challenges that you can follow, There is also a free draw mode where you have access to a bunch of 3D models, as well as the option to import your own images to create things like murals or paintings too. And on number 10, we got Piano Vision. Now if you've always wanted to learn how to play the piano, then this one is perfect for you. Since in here, you can learn some of the most famous songs in history step by step, either on a real keyboard or just on any flat surface. And with its physical cues lighting up which keys you should press next, you might be surprised on how quickly you'll be able to even play some of the more difficult songs. However, before we get to the next 5 best MetaQuest 3 apps that you really don't want to miss, let's first have a quick word from the company that made this video possible. Because none other than Cat VR, who are known for creating VR treadmills that look like they come straight out of Ready Player One, are once again taking virtual reality to the next level. Because while we are normally limited by the boundary system inside our VR experiences, it is Cat VR that has created these VR treadmills that let you run and jump without any limitation. And since their most recent version, which is known as the C2 Plus Enhanced, is compatible with every VR headset that you can think of, it is also often considered as the dream upgrade for any VR user. And they even go so far that it has things like haptic feedback built into it, as well as a vehicle hub, which will make it feel even more realistic when you're racing on a track or flying through the sky. And as a cherry on top, you can also use the code VRelity for a whopping $130 off on your entire purchase. So for those who are interested, I'll leave a link in the description below. Which gets us to number 11, and that is Tribe XR. And this is a free DJ simulator that lets you mix music with some professional gear, either by yourself or with some others at the same time. And besides practicing your skills with the built-in tutorials, you can also load up your very own songs and mix these on here together. And talking about music is number 12, and that is Spotify. Now Meta has finally ported over an official version of Spotify to the Quest headsets, because while it was possible already to listen to it from your browser, this often caused some big problems when you wanted to multitask. But now, you can keep playing music in the background or even listen to your favorite podcast while you're inside the full-on action of your latest VR games. Which also gets us to number 13, and that is the Xbox application. Because besides just playing virtual reality games, you can also play titles like Halo with Xbox Cloud Gaming on here. Just keep in mind though, that you will need a good internet connection for this to work, as well as Xbox Game Pass of course. But moving on, we have number 14, which is known as Gravity Sketch. And this is yet another awesome completely free experience that lets you create anything you want in full 3D. And that can go from making your own designs and models to even using it in mixed reality. So that is pretty damn cool. But by far one of the most important apps of all is a number 15, and that is the Quest Game Optimizer. Because this one will let you increase the resolution and graphics of your VR headset drastically. And best of all, after installing it, it will give you some of the best optimized settings that you can get for each and every single game individually. But if you want, then you can also tweak these even further to fit your own specific needs. But honestly, it is kind of surprising how much better your VR experience and games can look with such an easy fix. But that is not all, because while your Quest 3 screen will now look super crisp, there are also a lot of awesome Quest 3 games that you have to play on it. So click on the video that you see on screen right now to make sure you don't miss out on that. And of course, stay awesome.